spending power and broader economic stability. Joining us now is economist and analyst Keith Jefferis to give us insight on the situation in Botswana. Mr. Jefferis, thanks so much for joining us. What are the main factors driving Botswana's inflation spike beyond just fuel and food prices?
As you mentioned, has been the changes in the exchange rate arrangements. And that obviously pushes up the prices of imports. And fuel and foods are largely imported. Fuel is entirely imported. Food, to a large extent, is imported. So it's not about those commodities in particular. It's about imports in general, where the changes in the exchange rate arrangements had a significant impact on import prices. So effectively, although the pula, it wasn't an official devaluation. What happened was that the Bank of Botswana changed the way it manages the exchange rate. We have a largely pegged exchange rate, and the Bank of Botswana widened the trading band within which trade can take place. And with the widening of the trading band, and we have quite a large balance of payments deficit, the effect of the widening of the trading band was actually that the exchange rate dropped towards the bottom of the band quite quickly once the changes were made. So effectively, there was a devaluation of about 7%.
Right.
And that had a direct impact on import prices.
Right. And how is this inflation likely to affect consumer spending and business confidence in the coming months, especially when it comes to foreign investments?
Well, I think, on the business side, this has largely been accommodated. Businesses, that's why prices have gone up, because, businesses pass this on to consumers. I think in terms of household spending, it's more challenging because obviously this effectively results in a reduction in spending power. And we've seen households spending and real incomes under pressure for various reasons over the past year or so, and I think this is just going to add to that pressure. So certainly it's going to be a squeeze on households. In terms of foreign direct investment, look, I think there's a belief, which I think is correct, that the pula is probably somewhat overvalued. We're very dependent on diamond exports, and the diamond market's been very weak. So I think there's an expectation that the pula is going to weaken, and businesses prefer that this would happen in an orderly manner rather than a disorderly manner. So I think this change is seen as part of an orderly adjustment of the exchange rate.
Right. Let's prefer solutions, shall we? If you were, to prefer solutions to the Botswana government, just regarding in ways to sort of bring down inflation, what would those solutions be?
Well, I think, the driver of the macroeconomic instability that we're seeing is actually government itself. Government's budget is running a very large deficit, and that's having all sorts of knock-on effects on the financial sector, in foreign exchange reserves, and indeed on the exchange rate. So I think, what's needed is a combination of measures to stabilize the budget and reduce the budget deficit, and at the same time to implement macroeconomic but particularly microeconomic and regulatory reforms, which will help to boost economic growth and therefore provide some support for households through improved job creation. So I think, a combination of fiscal stability and macroeconomic and microeconomic reforms to help underpin a higher growth rate.
All right. Well, I must say thank you for taking out the time to join us, Jefferis. We appreciate you for coming on.